I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedle dumb, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Start with a rare ad for Heidi. What a gem that movie was. Okay, I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. Don't stop believing, because this is The Incredible Journey. Google 1963. I thought this was like from the 90s. Watching these old ones with my daughter is always Russian roulette, because will there suddenly be inexcusable racism or unnecessary darkness? Who's to know? Only time will tell. Okay, it's featuring Bodger the Bull Terrier, Tao the Siamese Cat, and Lua the Labrador Retriever, and all the humans in the story. So much old Disney charm. We're in Technicolor now. Voiceover explains the beauty of the season. Quote, "It was in this uncertain season, in this section of Canada, of course. Guess I could have done this one for episode 99, the Canada Pavilion and the Epcot World Showcase Tour. Who cares? There's a guy named John Longridge in a home with his pets. It wasn't the true animal's home, and John wasn't their real master. That's why the lab is lonely. The phone rings, it's static, it's Samara. He watched the video, he's got 7 days to live. No, it's some old lady, and she says she can't get there until 9 a.m. He says, hey, that's fine, and he will let the dogs out, but then the line crackles, and it also answers the age-old question, who did let the dogs out? It was John Longridge. Also, average view time of this video, right there. That was Mrs. Oaks, and Longridge has an impressive collection of guns in his living room. Yes, he does. Longridge is a paranoid man, apparently. He takes the dogs for a walk, then he writes Mrs. Oaks a letter, and he tells her that he's out of coffee. Okay, I think he's going away, and Oaks is going to come look after the animals. There's a lot of room for miscommunication here. John lays in bed, and he flashes back on how he, quote, ended up with 3 remarkable animals that weren't his own. He knew another family, and these are their animals. That father was given a 10-month stint at Oxford University, but he would only go if his wife Nancy was willing. Quote, Nancy was more than willing. Sounds like the Nancys I know. But wait, what about their 3 animals? Ah, says John, I'm in a huge house by myself, and the animals know me, so I shall take them. Out of the flashback, John is asleep. When everyone is asleep is apparently when the cat wakes up and goes prowling. He does, and the stupid cat accidentally knocks the note about the coffee into the fire, setting in motion the incredible journey. The next morning, John doesn't notice the letter missing and says goodbye to all the animals, and he's off. Oaks should be there anytime. 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 John drives off, and now the animals are alone and, for all they know, completely deserted. Then the wild geese called. Wild geese are going home, and the animals, they start wandering through the woods following the sun, trying to get to their old home as well, with the Oxford family. And here arrives Pokey Mrs. Oaks. That's funny, I don't see the animals anywhere. Mr. Oaks comes in with a vacuum, and he can't find the animals. So, anyone in the future who is watching this, vacuum, it tried to change vacuum to vaccine 3 times, so guess what year I'm recording this. Okay, Miss Oaks goes to the backyard and goes, puss, 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 and I want that clip as my ringtone. Oaks is married or partnered with that weird dude, Mr. Oaks. I think he's drunk with a vacuum. Now that's the real movie I want to see, Disney. Okay, she found half the letter, but it says he took the animals, and I don't think he meant that he took them out last night or something. To make sure we're all on the same page here, I'm so confused. He wrote a 2-page letter, and the stupid cat burnt the first half of the letter, and the second half by itself makes it sound like John Longhorn or whoever took the animals. So Oaks stops begging for puss and goes back to work. If John has the animals, Mrs. Oaks will never think about the animals. ever again, and thus begins the journey. Speaking of the animals, they continue the incredible journey. This must have been a fun movie to shoot. Toss the animals in the woods and roll tape. Lots of filler of the two dogs and the cat going through the bushes and amazing legit shots of the cat running and jumping at a bird. Props to the camera ops. That's a once in a lifetime shot and they nailed it. Actually, most of these beauty shots are pretty epic. I'm a freelance camera op myself and I would not have the patience to shoot nature without shooting nature. The animals get tired and take a break and sleep. More great shots of the cat trying to catch a fish, and he does. I'm graduating from impressed to jaw-dropping envious. I don't know much about like wild animal videography, but they are striking gold here. A car goes by and they hide. Some narc dog in the back of the flatbed starts barking at them, but the car doesn't stop. Like the Pet Shop Boys, the animals go west. They go along a railroad track, and at least a train isn't going to come, right? The old terrier was slowing down. Quote, the collapse, when it came, was total. Amen, brother. That's my gravestone quote. The cat is rubbing up against the sleeping dog, so they are cute. A train didn't come. They're all getting hungry now, but the cat is the only one that knows how to catch food. There's a bird, a squirrel, and two baby bears. Go get the bears, cat. Make yourself famous. Force a script rewrite. The baby bears come and are licking and kissing the animals. What is happening? The bears climb all over Bodger. Then the cubs decide he is dull and leave. The cubs wrestle each other, make all these noises, and Mama Bear comes running. Uh-oh. Thoroughly aroused is the term they use for Mama Bear, who thinks someone was hurting her cubs, and checks out the animals, and the cat stands up to this huge bear. The cat is insane. How did they film this? This looks legit. All the animals in the same frame and the cat is not backing down to the bear. I am going to go ahead and guess there's no animals were harmed in the making of this movie. Disclaimer at the end of this one. They probably went through like a dozen cats just getting that last shot with the bear. They find an old sawmill and Bodger finds an old cookhouse. They tip the garbage and then some hillbilly who doesn't like varmints on his property pops out and Yosemite starts shooting at the animals as they run away. Now the dog chases a rabbit. They hear old Jeremy the Hermit humming Old Clementine. He has a crow on his head. Looking at Jeremy, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it was like a vulture instead of a crow, just like waiting for the inevitable with this guy. The cat wants the crow, getting some huge Song of the South vibes here. The dog has a dead rabbit in its mouth and old Jeremy is making stew, so the retriever stashes the dead rabbit and comes inside. I don't know. I might roll the dice with the dead rabbit over this guy's cooking, but whatever. Can we also talk about how Roger the Hermit is wearing suspenders, but they cross like an X? Was that ever a thing? There's a shot of Jeremy eating his stew, and they track the fork up to his mouth, and over his shoulder for a split second, we see like something terrifying shadows. Like Satan lives here as well, apparently, and also like stew. The cats eat its bowl, and the dogs don't, so Jeremy eats their bowl of food. This is some compelling storytelling. The animals leave, and he chats with this crow, who may possibly also be his wife, or Satan. The dogs make the wise choice and eat the rabbit instead of Jeremy's stew. The dogs cross the river, but the stupid cat falls in and starts floating away. And if I know movies, there's going to be a waterfall coming up. Tense music, the dogs try to save the cat. Again, all this footage is amazing. Just chucking cats into the river, hoping the dogs go and get it. Honestly, hats off to the camera ops and the animal trainers for getting these shots, though. Well, apparently the cat is dead. The dogs wait on the riverbank with hope and then finally, quote, push on, just the two of them. But downstream, a little girl, washing clothes, finds the cat and calls for her pawpaw. Pawpaw rolls up his pant legs, then steps into the creek with his socks and shoes still on. What the So the cat is alive. Mama says she will warm up some milk, and Pawpaw says, get some whiskey. I think she meant for the cat there, big guy. Pawpaw suddenly bails to do chores. Will it be all right, Pawpaw? Maybe. Maybe not. Inspiring words from the always positive Pawpaw. Little girl befriends the cat. Pawpaw sings to the cat, and Mama, the actress, is trying so hard not to laugh. She knows she married a lunatic and should have chosen that guy with the Satan crow instead. Pawpaw is a madman. He sings quietly with his mouth open. Kitty cat. Terrifying, truly disturbing. The jerk cat just leaves in the middle of the night, just bails. The poor little girl spends the rest of her life wondering what happened to her cat. The cat picks up the scent of the dogs. It rains, and the cat senses something following it. Quote, something evil. And it is evil. Is it Satan the crow? No, it's a lynx. Are lynx evil? Google, are lynx evil? The lynx is not a very prominent figure in mythology. No fables or legends concerning the lynx have been found. There are a few proverbs concerning the lynx, like, for example, to wangle something out of someone in German means Dürmadem etwat ablution, which reminds us that the lynx is a very intelligent and quick hunter. Shots of a legit lynx chasing this poor cat around, just terrorizing him. That production house went through another 17 cats getting those shots, just chucking them out there at the lynx. Eventually, the lynx was probably full after eating about 8 or 10 of them and was running a little less, and that's why they got these shots of the cat out running it. Okay, the lab gets messed up by a porcupine, and he keeps sticking his face in the water to soothe it. How did they get those shots? They're sticking out of his nose. The old dog shows up at the front door of the Mackenzie home now. The guy's wife says, he must have smelt the bacon and showed up bacon like a hobo. Worse than a hobo. Take that, hobos. Across the forest, that hobo guy and his demon crow make another sacrifice and move little stick grass figures of the family around. Oh, I'm gonna get you for that. The lab comes in as well, and the guy pulls the quills out of the dog's face. You know, this is honestly a pretty good script. They aren't relying on the animals to talk. Like, this isn't a buddies movie. And Mr. Long Branch returns, and Mrs. Oakes is like, did the animals have a good time? The animals, but you, 3 weeks! But the note, well, this is only half of it. Mrs. Oakes offers this helpful advice. Suppose they could have been hit by a car, or poisoned, or stolen. He comes to the revelation, they went back home. Back home. The unhappy retriever took them home. They assume Bodger and the cat are dead though, but the retriever just may have made it. He gets on the phone. Is he calling the other house to see if the animals answer? No, he calls the sheriff and tells them to keep an eye out for the animals. They can't look until tomorrow, but Longbridge needs to find them tonight. Back at the Mackenzie house, he locks up the dogs for the night in the barn. Great shot of the cat waiting for the guy to leave, and then it hops and unlocks and the dogs run away. Okay, John Longbridge gets a call back. There's a little girl that rescued the cat, but it disappeared. But Longbridge and Oakes go full CIS, and they have a map, and they follow the cat's trajectory. And the Oxford family is returning home the next day, and Longbridge knows he has to tell the kids. He up. The animals keep heading towards home, and they are now, quote, beyond all human help. Ice was forming in the stream, and in a few days, the river's voice would be still. Poetry in this one. I have come to appreciate all these old live Disney movies so much. Now the animals are in the snow. The hunters, not the Oxfords, the hunters of the family, and they're home from Oxford, and they are on the phone, and they just talk to the old man Mackenzie, and they have a positive idea on the dogs, but not the cat, and the animals could be 40 miles away. I really expected the animals to show up minutes before the hunters returned home, but nope. This was before cliched storytelling. The hunter kids have accepted their animals are dead. That's kind of sad. Mom Hunter's overacting and chewing up the scene. Wow. A lot of time has passed. This seems unconventional. This is like that episode of The Simpsons where it's a Christmas show, but it didn't end on Christmas night, and half the episode took place on December 26th. You don't see stuff like that very often. So it's been like weeks. The animals still aren't back. The hunter kids are having a birthday party now. Boy blows out the candle and says, don't feel much like making a wish. For Peter's birthday, Uncle John has adoption papers, and he tries to replace Bodger, and Peter's like, you can't replace family. Then they hear dogs barking. Liz is like, it's our dogs. Oh, Liz, please don't. For a magic moment, James Hunter was young again, hoping against hope. He whistles for the dogs, and the symphony kicked in, and Lua is somehow home. Then meow, Dow the cat is also back. The parents react, but it's pretty subdued, honestly, given the incredible circumstances of this incredible journey. They are still sad about Bodger, though. Then, rub my eyes, here comes Bodger. The dog is so legit excited, it knocks Peter, the kid actor, over. That's fun. So, it was 3 devoted friends came marching home. We get about half a second of black, and we're back into ads. Yeah, they started this tape with ads, and they're ending this tape with ads. Return of Jafar, and then Snow White. Quote, it's your favorite Disney movie ever. And my kid yells at the TV, no, it's not! Some will win, some will lose, and some are born to sing the blues. It's the incredible journey.